Everybody ready?
Good. Yep.
All right.
Okay, good.
Good evening. I am here to announce the arrest of a Clay County Sheriff's Office deputy. On June 18th of 2025, a female called the Clay County Sheriff's Office to report a theft. At that time, 2 deputies were dispatched to her residence in Orange Park to investigate the call. While the deputies were at the victim's residence, one of the deputies, later identified as Ryan Perry, followed the victim upstairs to her bedroom while the second deputy remained downstairs gathering more information from witnesses. While Perry and the victim were in the bedroom alone, Perry demanded that the victim expose her breast for him, and then he inappropriately touched the victim against her will in a manner that completed the offense of sexual battery. On June 21st, CCSO was notified of the allegations against Perry, and detectives were immediately assigned to begin a detailed investigation. Through multiple interviews and further investigative efforts, detectives gathered the evidence needed to arrest Perry for armed sexual battery, and he was arrested earlier this evening. Ryan Perry has been employed by the Clay County Sheriff's Office since October of 2018. During that time, we have received 2 other complaints that were investigated. One investigation was sustained and one was unfounded. Copies of those reports will be made available to you following this briefing. Perry's employment was terminated at the time of his arrest just a while ago. Let me say this. I'm interested in hearing from anyone who may have had a similar experience with Ryan Perry as this investigation continues. I want to speak directly to the citizens of Clay County who have ever been through the burdens of trauma or sexual assault. We hear you, we stand with you, and we will fight for you. I could not be more disappointed tonight with the news that I have to share with our community. It is devastating to us as an agency and to me personally, and I assure you that we will follow through on this and justice will be served. I'd also like to thank this victim for coming forward. I know this was extremely difficult for her, and she is very brave, and we appreciate her stepping up and letting us know about this. All right, with that being said, I'll take any questions.
You said that there were 2 more things that you guys investigated previously. Were any of them similar in nature? To these allegations? And you said one, I guess, one is still under investigation.
No, sir. Former Deputy Perry had 2 previous internal investigations. One is somewhat similar, but not exactly, and we'll make sure you get copies of those reports. But that was unfounded at the time.
But there's another one also?
A different type of charge.
Okay, but so nothing related to like sexual battery?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
And how long had he been with the force again?
He started with the Clay County Sheriff's Office in 2018.
Can you speak to his work ethic and history of professionalism? Does this take your sheriff's office by surprise, knowing him?
Anytime a deputy does wrong, it's devastating. It's sad, it's devastating. You know, we work so hard to build community trust. We work so hard to build a culture here of an organization that serves and protects the community, not victimizes the community. So this is absolutely devastating.
Can you confirm how old the deputy is?
He is 33 years of age.
Can you elaborate on how this was uncovered? Was the victim the one who reported this, and talk about how that came about?
Yes, ma'am. So the victim, after the incident, had told some friends and family of what happened, and they encouraged her to call us, and she did. And so we, as soon as we got the phone call, we immediately called out detectives to start investigating it.
I know you said that it launched the investigation that led to his arrest. Obviously, you spoke with the victim, and I'm sure right now you can't exactly disclose what he told you guys because it's still under investigation. But were there other elements or evidence that provided you guys with probable cause to effect this arrest?
Well, I mean, that's when we make an arrest, is when we have probable cause. I can't go into the exact evidence or investigative techniques Eric, but you know, again, a victim came forward. Again, our detectives and our agency took this allegation very seriously. The detectives have been working nonstop with the victim, and former Deputy Perry was arrested and is on his way to jail right now.
In all of your years in law enforcement, have you ever heard of or come across anything remotely like this before?
You know, the answer is yeah, unfortunately. We hire, you know, whether it's the Clay County Sheriff's Office or any of the other agencies that I've worked with previously, we hire from the human race. And humans have faults. And I'm not excusing it. A bad cop is a bad cop and they need to be held accountable. But unfortunately, you know, on occasion, now the great thing is this is very rare. This is extremely rare. Most of the deputies that are out there, the vast majority of law enforcement, do great work every single day with no issues. And, you know, the fact that we were able to, and I want to commend the detectives that did this investigation, because nobody likes a bad cop more than a good cop. And so these detectives were dogged in working with this victim to make sure that we had the evidence we needed to make the arrest today.
As a sheriff of Clay County, when you got wind of this, and obviously maybe heard details and things of that nature, as the sheriff who is over this entire department, what was your initial reaction just hearing this? Because like you said, this is rare.
Mm-hmm. I'm pissed, devastated, let down. You know, we're here to protect and serve our community, not victimize them. And the fact that somebody who wears a badge victimized somebody in this community is devastating. It makes me mad. And that's why, you know, there is an immediate investigation, and when the probable cause threshold is met, we make the arrest.
Sheriff, is this Deputy Perry who was named Deputy of the Quarter in November of 2023? Is this the same one?
That I do not know, but we can confirm that later.
Was the downstairs officer involved in any way? I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, but.
Right. Based upon the investigation, we at this time have no indication that the deputy that remained downstairs to talk to witnesses had any idea of what was going on upstairs.
And obviously you guys are asking the public if they've ever had any interactions with this guy while in uniform. You want them to come forward.
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody has had a interaction like this with Deputy Perry, or bad interaction with any of our deputies, listen, we hold our team to a very, very high standard. We have to. But specifically, if anybody's had any sort of similar encounter with Deputy Perry, we're asking you to come forward. You can call 904-264-6512, or you can send us a Safer Watch tip, and we will have one of our detectives reach out to you.
Have there been any similar or any kind of complaints against the deputy in his time in service?
I've already addressed that. He had 2 outstanding complaints previously. One was a sort of similar allegation, but not quite, and at that time it was unfounded.
And is it considered armed sexual battery just simply because he was armed as a law enforcement officer?
Yes, sir. Armed sexual battery under the color of law.
And will a picture of him be provided since you guys are looking for additional victims?
Not at this time. These deputies have the protection of not having their photos released. But if something changes, we'll put it out. But we will provide you guys tonight a copy of IA reports, previous IA reports, and the arrest and booking report, which may be by paper or electronic. We're still working on that. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Hey, let me clarify something that Chief Panicia just corrected me on. The one case that was somewhat similar was just a verbal back and forth with a lady, and that allegation was sustained at the time, but it was considered minor in nature at that point. Just okay. But we'll give you copies of the reports.